Tearo, which I'm not fully pronouncing correctly, for the Sustainability Commission, and Morgan Murphy for the Health, Wellness, and Aging Commission. If they could please come forward and get sworn in by the city clerk. It looks like we may not have them here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move to the consent calendar, and we may come back to item 4.1 to have them sworn in. But right now we need to move on with the meeting. So we'll now move to the consent calendar. Are there any items that the city council members should like to pull? Seeing none, I will go ahead and make a motion of calendar items 5.1 through 5.10, and with the second and the appropriate disclosures being made. Madam Clerk, if you could please read the heading.
Yes, and Mr. Mayor, we do have one speaker on the consent calendar if you'd like me to proceed with calling them.
Yes, please.
John Acosta.
On item 5.8, the cannabis, it says education program for the community. What kind of programs, can anybody tell me the kind of programs that you all have for the underage smoking, especially what I have mentioned several times about the marina, high school kids smoking marijuana, Hilltop Park smoking marijuana. So what kind of programs are they
Mr. Costa, hold on just 1 second. We're getting something from, it sounds, Mr. Costa, if you could just go ahead and you can start over if you want to, but if you could.
Is that my time to 5 minutes?
If you could go ahead, if you could go ahead and just speak into the microphone, the translators could not hear you. So I apologize, Mr. Costa.
5 minutes, please. Thank you. Okay, what I was saying before about the cannabis, it was a program that Andrea brought into California, to Chula Vista, and since the beginning I saw a conflict of interest. And I don't see any programs preventing the underage smoking in the parks, Hilltop Park, because I live real close to it, and I take a walk and I see the kids smoking on the way to school. At the marina, every weekend after school, you see them smoking marijuana. So what kind of programs are they are they investing money on? Because I don't see anything. One of the things I would like to know if the police department have a difference on DUIs such as smoke for alcohol and marijuana. And I'd like to see the numbers, the numbers. And so, also on the 5.9, the volunteer program, senior patrol volunteer programs. I think it is unfair for the senior to volunteer and to spend not only the time to go all the way to Santee, to get trained for something they actually volunteer for. So it is, I agree with the police department that training should be here in Chula Vista. Chula Vista, where they are serving the time, and it's not so expensive, and it's not so tedious, and it doesn't take so much time for a senior who is going to give their time to for the community. So I'd like for you all to do something about it and help the senior community. And like I say, you always ignore the senior community. So think something about the senior patrol and bring their training to Chula Vista. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, are there any more speakers?
That concludes the speakers on the consent calendar.
We have a motion and a second for the consent calendar. I would call for the vote.
Item 5.1 is approval of the minutes dated July 16th, 2024. Item 5.2 is approval of a motion to read only the title and waive the reading of the text of all resolutions and ordinances at this meeting. Item 5.3 is ordinance of the City of Chula Vista amending Chula Vista Municipal Code Section 2.05.010 to add the unclassified position titles of FA Deputy Director and FA Administrative Program Manager. Second reading and adoption, 4/5 vote required. Item 5.4 is ordinance of the City of Chula Vista acting as the legislative body of Community Facilities District Number 2024-1, Citrus Bay, of the City of Chula Vista, authorizing the levy of special taxes in such Community Facilities District. Second reading and adoption. Item 5.5 is resolution of the City Council of the City of Chula Vista authorizing the application and adopting the PLHA plan for the Permanent Local Housing Allocation Program. Item 5.6 is resolution of the City Council of the City of Chula Vista authorizing the city to apply for, receive, act as trustee for, and contribute a local match to local housing trust funds awarded by the California Department of Housing and Community Development. Item 5.7 is resolution of the City Council of the City of Chula Vista identifying the terms and conditions for fire department response away from their official duty station and assigned to an emergency incident. Item 5.8 is resolution of the City Council of the City of Chula Vista accepting funds from the California Highway Patrol for the Cannabis Tax Fund Grant Program and amending the fiscal year 2024-25 budget to appropriate funds therefore. Four-fifths vote required. Item 5.9 is resolution of the City Council of the City of Chula Vista accepting the 2023-24 Grand Jury Report on retired senior volunteer patrol programs at San Diego law enforcement agencies and authorizing the Chief of Police to submit the response on behalf of the city. And item 5.10 is resolution of the City Council of the City of Chula Vista approving a third amendment to the Memorandum of Understanding between the City of Chula Vista and Local 2180 International Association of Firefighters covering the period of July 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2024. End of consent.
Please vote. Consent calendar is approved unanimously. We will now move on to public comments. Madam Clerk, if you could please call the first speaker.
Yes, we have 7 speakers registered under public comments this evening. The first speaker is Joseph Rasso, followed by Nicole Hobson, followed by Mayra Estrada.
Okay, you ready to rock? Okay, well, you guys have been seeing me almost 2 years now, but you got 11 pages I brought to you. I'll just highlight it because 3 minutes I can't go through 11 pages. But this is all about the tenant protection ordinance, which is killing tenants in this town. So what I'm trying to do is get you to revise the tenant protection ordinance so we don't have these $5,000 fines jacking up rents. On the first 2 pages are actual cut and paste, if you look at them, of the clauses in the ordinance which forces landlords to raise rents. It's there for you to read. If you read that, you'd say, God, I'll never be a landlord in this town. And if an error is committed, landlords get paid $5,000 fines with no opportunity to correct their errors. The tenant protection ordinance was passed on October 2022 with Councilmember Jill Galvez casting the lone dissenting vote. Ms. Galvez publicly predicted the massive increase of the TPO would impose on the least affordable. One pivotal event that propelled me to mitigate the suffering of our community's poorest occurred when I got a CAS call. I had a CAS call. You probably heard about it. You can read the story there where I had to go down to the Palomar and trolley, and the police asked me to help a guy who was sleeping in a box with his 6-year-old daughter. That was painful. Anyway, upon passing the TPO, I took a multi-pronged approach to bring relief to the poorest of our community. We got our church organized to feed the homeless. I honestly didn't expect us to do that for more than a year because I thought you guys had fixed the TPO so we wouldn't have to do that anymore. TPO is yet to be fixed, so we're still feeding the homeless. The second thing I did was raise awareness. You see me every Tuesday pointing out to you what the heck's wrong with the TPO. Despite the compelling data, city staff has done nothing to eliminate the pain caused by the TPO. In my 75 years, I have never witnessed city council so neglectful of the community it claims to represent. Practical solution exists to fix this. Notification system. Landlord screws up, say, hey, you screwed up, fix it. And what it'll do, the landlords will fix it, and the ones who aren't, well, you go after the bad guys. We're running out of time. So what I want is one of you guys to care enough to ask these 3 questions. Is the data, ask the staff if the data that I presented to you is accurate. They'll say it's accurate because I got it from them. And ask the question number 2, how many landlords of Chula Vista's 36,000 renting units were actually found in violation of the tenant protection ordinance? You'll find very little, down to 30 seconds. Question number 3, If so few TPO violations exist, wouldn't it be more beneficial to the tenants if landlords were not forced to preemptively raise rents by inserting a clause in TPO instructing staff to warn the landlords when they screwed up? It's that simple. And in closing, 10 seconds, you kindly, Mr. Pisciotto, informed me the staff told you couldn't do anything. It's not staff's job to tell you what you can do or can do. It's their job to tell you how to do what you want to do. That's simple.
Thank you for hearing.
The next speaker under public comments is Nicole Hobson, followed by Mayra Estrada, followed by Marisol Aguilera.
Good evening, City Manager, Mayor, and members of the City Council. My name is Nicole Hobson, Association of Chula Vista Employees President. I'm here to advocate for an increase of pay for our ACE employees. This issue is not just about economics. It is about the dignity and well-being of our members who are struggling to make ends meet. Aside from being the president of the largest workforce in the city, which represents over 430 employees citywide, I serve as a community service officer for the Chula Vista Police Department. Been employed at the PD for 24 years. Our position as a CSO is a tremendous asset and support to our sworn police officers who are dealing with staffing shortages. This year alone, the last 6 months, the CSOs have responded to 3,829 incidents and took 2,591 police reports, most of which were crime incident reports. CSOs have handled 42% of the police department's crime and incident reports. This ensures our sworn officers are available to respond to emergencies and serious incidents within the city. Our city is known for its vibrant community and economic opportunities. However, the current wages do not reflect the rising cost of living, rent, utilities, groceries, and healthcare expenses, which have all increased significantly, yet wages have remained stagnant. Many of our fellow employees are working multiple jobs and still cannot afford the basic necessities. This is not sustainable, nor is it just. In 2020, our ACE employees opted out to get a raise in support of the city operations per the request of the city to fight against COVID. Members perform job duties outside their job description. For example, handing out food to our residents, cleaning and sanitizing public restrooms and facilities, just to name a few. In 2021, we received a 3% increase when inflation was 5.2% in county. In 2022, we received 2% increase when inflation was 7.7%. In 2023, we received 3% increase when inflation was 5.1%. In 2024, inflation in our county has already increased to 3.2%. Since 2020, inflation has increased 21.2% and our salaries increased by 8%. As of August 1st, our employees have fallen to the 14th percentile in compensation compared to our local cities in San Diego County. 77% of our workforce is below the median in pay. With our current salaries, we simply cannot compete with other cities, and we're losing valuable experience to other employers monthly. In conclusion, raising our employee wage is an investment in our community's future, a step toward ensuring that everyone who works hard can live with dignity and security. Addressing compensation proactively helps us retain skilled and experienced employees. High turnover and loss of institutional knowledge can disrupt services and hinder our city's progress. By investing in our employees now, we safeguard against these disruptions and foster a stable and committed workforce. I urge the City Council to consider increasing our wages and to take action to make this change a reality. Thank you for your consideration, and we are respectfully here. These are all our ACE employees. 25% of them. Thank you.
The next speaker is Mayra Estrada, followed by Marisol Aguilera, followed by Tana Romano.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Mayra Estrada. I'm a recycling specialist for the Environmental Services Division of Public Works. I'm here tonight because I'm concerned for my fellow ACE workers, associates, and friends. I would like to share with you that once an ACE employee is first hired at the City of Chula Vista, they initially find an inspirational, exciting, and rewarding experience. But once the first phase of that employment passes, the satisfaction and reward of working hard and providing their skills to the city, that feeling of inspiration just wears off. I'm told it's because the requirement to do so much more work here and less employee resources no longer matches the compensation and incentives that is needed for the employee to stay inspired and excited about working in Chula Vista. Employees want to work where they feel valued, respected, heard, and can compete fairly with the compensation of other jurisdictions in San Diego. One of the reasons this city is so strong is because of its ACE workforce. We're your largest group of dedicated employees, a workforce that over the years has taken the most compensation reductions, the most layoffs, the most benefit deductions than any of your other employee groups. We have recovered far less in our compensation in the many years while helping the city overcome the challenges to stay financially strong. Whether the housing crisis, pension issues, or even COVID-19, the ACE workforce came through and cooperated with the city when asked. We continue to work hard in making the city strong, but this has finally taken its toll. In 7 short years, ACE employees find themselves in poor financial condition, compensation-wise. Our financial outlook is not as bright or as strong as the city of Chula Vista's is. Yet we are employed here and expected to continue helping the city with its mission and goals, that is providing the best community services of any city in San Diego County. 172 essential job classifications that 435 employees are tasked to carry out and fulfill the mission of the city's administration. We are now ranked in compensation in the 14th percentile as of August 1st. That's 337 employees of 435. This is the lowest overall compensation ranking that has occurred in the last 17 years for ACE employees. We are near the bottom, yet our city is known as one of the best and financially strong cities in the county. The future is very bright for Chula Vista. That was evident in the mayor's State of the City address. Property tax values are the 3rd highest in the county. We continue to build new housing, a new Bayfront Convention Center that is already booking out, more hotels, new commercial properties, a potential university. The pension funding issue with cooperation of employees and pension bonds is now more secure. The city has several fully funded reserve funds, and for the past 2 years, there's been an excess unrestricted revenue funds after the final quarterly reports. Over 30% of ACE employees are funded by enterprise funds, so raises can be offset to the general fund. The city's financially secure and strongly rated AA-. The city has the resources and growing revenue streams coming in. It's time to make the investment necessary to compensation for ACE employees to also be financially secure and strong in their future. We are asking for fair, competitive raises to keep with its mission and goals of this city so employees will continue to stay and work here instead of going to other local cities with their skills and considerable knowledge. The current fiscal budget needs amending so ACE employees' wages are competitive and aligned with the city policy of being equitable. Your ACE workforce deserves and has earned this over many years. Invest in your ACE workforce now. You can make that choice to do this today. It will be your best investment for the city's growth and into the future of the city of Chula Vista. Thank you.
Yeah.
The next speaker is Marisol Aguilera, followed by Tana Romano, followed by Carolyn Lechner.
Good evening, City Manager, Council, Mayor. My name is Marisol, and I'm the Senior Code Enforcement Officer for Code Enforcement Division, and this is my partner, Alejandro Rodriguez, who's also Senior Code Enforcement Officer. ACE union contract expired with the city on June 30th, and here we are still without a contract, still feeling unseen, feeling unheard, and feeling unappreciated. I appreciate the women and men who wear the dark blue uniform and wear the shield and protect our city daily, in and out, and I understand why city management, council, mayor are quick posed to always support them during contract negotiations. However, it cannot go unsaid that they do not process building permits, they do not conduct plan reviews, they do not conduct building inspections and sign off on building construction permits. They do not inspect and issue citations for stormwater violations. They do not address complaints related to loud roosters, chickens, goats, loose, injured, or animals that need emergency assistance. They do not respond to complaints of trash, junk, debris, front yard parking, unpermitted construction, and issue out notices of violation for those items and so many more. They do not conduct the required annual state housing inspections for apartments or state mobile home inspections. They do not conduct the required state environmental recycling inspections at commercial restaurants. They do not maintain city infrastructure. They do not maintain the streets, the water channels, the open space, and parks. They do not issue out business licenses and maintain those licenses. They do not maintain books for the public to read and offer out after-school programs for children to attend, even while on summer break. We do. Development services, environmental waste, finance, public works, librarians, recreation, animal control, park rangers. We We are the backbone of the city, and we deserve to earn a living wage just as the police and fire departments do that would allow us to pay our rent, our mortgage, our car payment, our childcare, provide groceries and food on the table for our families without having to decide what other utility or bill we have to go unpaid or paid late just because we're living paycheck to paycheck. Quite often, city management, council, and mayor speak of all the great construction projects that are happening in the city and that are soon to come. Speak of how financially stable and robust our city is. However, the people that make all these projects come true and maintain our beautiful city are being overlooked and overworked. The time has come for you to show your appreciation of our hard work by being an extension of our voice and support ACE in obtaining a fair contract for all of us. Thank you.
The next speaker is Tana Romano, followed by Carolyn Lechner, followed by John Acosta.
Good evening, council members. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak today. My name is Danairi Romano, and I'm an associate planner at the Development Services Department, representing Planning Division and all of ACE employees. I stand before you to speak about a pressing issue that affects our workforce, the urgent need for wage adjustments in response to rising inflation. Planners are the backbone of our urban development. Our responsibilities include zoning, land use, and environmental sustainability, each of which is critical to maintaining the character and quality of life in our neighborhoods and ensuring compliance with the state of California on items such as CEQA, updating the safety element, and other regulatory measures. Every day, we interact daily with large developers on commercial projects and housing developments and individual homeowners looking to add additions such as covered patios and ADUs, all while providing excellent customer service to help guide each applicant to the finish line. However, despite the importance of our work, associate and assistant planners are underpaid. The reality is that our planners are not just employees, they are the visionaries who dedicate their careers to shaping the future of our community. We have been undervalued for our contributions, that we are losing talented professionals with historical knowledge and expertise to other cities and sectors that recognize and reward their experiences. Consider this, while inflation has increased, many wages have remained stagnant. This discrepancy creates a gap that is not just an economic concern, but a social one as well. When people struggle to afford basic necessities, it affects their health, their families, and their ability to contribute fully to their work and community. By adjusting wages to reflect the current economic conditions, we're not simply providing financial relief, we're investing in our community's stability and future prosperity. Fair compensation is not just a matter of economic fairness. It is an ethical obligation and a key drive of long-term economic health. I urge this council to consider a comprehensive review of our wages and to take action to ensure we are compensated fairly. Thank you for your time and consideration.
The next speaker is Carolyn Lechner, followed by John Acosta.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor McCann and council members. My name is Carolyn Lechner Uribe, and I am here to speak on behalf of our dedicated recreation supervisors and all our union members as we continue to go through negotiations. As the largest city union, representing over 435 employees across 15 departments, we pride ourselves on the dedication and the service we provide to our beloved community. However, we find ourselves in a challenging position. Our pay, which currently stands in the 14th percentile when compared to 18 other San Diego County cities, does not reflect the value we bring to our roles. Consider this. 77% of our employees earn below the median salary. This means over 337 of our colleagues are paid less than what is fair and just for the work that they perform. These are not just numbers. They represent the hard-working individuals who keep our city running smoothly and make it a better place to live. The Recreation Department organizes community events that bring your families together, manage sports leagues that keep our youth active and engaged, and ensure our public spaces are safe and welcoming for everyone. Our recreation supervisors, in particular, play a crucial role in enhancing the quality of life for our residents. We manage vital programs, ensure the safety of our facilities, and foster a sense of community through our services. Despite these significant responsibilities, our compensation does not reflect the level of dedication and expertise we bring to our roles. Imagine a parent watching their child learn to swim for the first time, or a senior citizen finding joy and companionship in our community centers. These moments are made possible by the dedication of our staff. Yet, we've seen experienced and veteran employees leave for better paying jobs elsewhere, despite their passion for serving our city. This brain drain is detrimental not only to our departments, but to the community at large. Each departure represents a loss of invaluable knowledge, experience, and commitment that is not easily replaced. When we lose these dedicated employees, it is the community that suffers. Our children miss out on well-ran programs, our public spaces lose their vibrancy, and our sense of togetherness diminishes. We should not let financial inadequacies erode the very fabric of our community spirit. Tonight, we ask you to vote in favor of a pay raise for our recreation supervisors and all our union members. By doing so, you will not only help us retain our talented workforce, but also ensure that we can continue to provide exceptional services to our community. Investing in your employees is investing in the future of your city. A fair and competitive salary will empower us to continue our work with the passion and excellence that our residents deserve. Let us build a community where both our employees and our residents can thrive. Thank you for your time and consideration. We look forward to your support.
The next speaker is John Acosta.
First of all, you all should be ashamed of listen to the community after you guys vote yourself a raise. But I guess you don't care because you just stay there listening to them, but you don't do nothing about it. Not caring. Anyway, Mayor, you posted a phone number for people to call for the homeless and shelter. If the unsheltered program was working, you wouldn't have to, wouldn't have to be calling. The unsheltered program that Chula Vista has is not working. It's not working. I wonder if the person running the unsheltered program was a male, Maria would have already fired him. But simply because she's a female, she's doing unproductive, still collecting a lot of money. Maria, what's happening with the suit that, because you got sued, or Chula Vista got sued for gender discrimination. And I don't do backdoor deals, so you could take it out loud so everybody could hear what you did with that. Anyway, so one of the things that is really very upsetting that you're not doing nothing for the senior community. There was a case in the senior community that I called Rachel's office, and a week later they answered me, giving me a phone number. I needed more than a phone number. Thank you, Jose Preciado, for assisting me, although, I needed Rachel's assistance. We need law and order in the marina. A couple of weeks ago, a senior lady got physically attacked. As physically attacked, she had to go to a hospital. And I've been telling you all to have some some police patrolling there. But you voted yourself a pay raise. You voted yourself, who cares about the community? You don't show that you care for the community. One of the things I mentioned to you about a month ago, why is it, or I mentioned to you, why is it that Chula Vista's flag, the American flag, is the smallest flag flying in the front? Is there any funding because you guys voted yourself in there and there's no more income in there? Well, I told you, if you can afford it, I got a flag for the Chula Vista, and I will give it to the manager. So the manager, because you probably sell it or pound it or whatever. Anyway, you guys need to start caring about the community. Start caring for the community because you're supposed to be working for us. Are you just there for the money, for the prestige? You need to start doing something. And we need to, the charter program more transparent. I've been asking for the different answers, and different answers. We have a lot of questions. City Attorney, you can edit the program and see how much money is being wasted. San Diego is going to edit right now, and there's a lot of problems that found it. You need to edit the manager. You need to edit about how much money she's wasting on those people that are doing nothing. Thank you. Here's a flag.
That concludes the speakers under the first session. For public comment, there are 7 additional speakers that will be called under the second session.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for everybody to hear. If you are on the speakers list, we're going to do some work here, and then after we're done with that work, you will be able to speak after that. So you are still on the list. What we're going to do is we're going to move to 7.1. This is a continuation of the public hearing from a prior council meeting, and I have a property conflict, so I'm not going to be able to go ahead and participate. And Member Chavez, I think you have to make a statement too.
Yes, for item 7.1, I have to recuse myself today due to a property-based conflict of interest as I live near the open space district, which will be considered.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and hand the gavel over to Member Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Noting that the mayor and Councilmember Chavez have both recused themselves and stepped away from the dais, we are on item 7.1, public hearings. I don't have notes in front of me for this item, but do we start with opening the public hearing, or unless there's speakers from the public for this item? Perfect, thank you. Here are the notes asking for me to address the city manager to see if there's a staff presentation on this item.
No presentation.
Seeing no presentation, are there questions of staff from the city council on this item? Seeing no questions, I'll turn it over to the city attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. This public hearing is being conducted pursuant to the Landscape and Lighting Act of 1972 for the continued levying of existing assessments within each of the city's open space and maintenance districts. During the public hearing, any person is permitted to present written or oral testimony or objections. As a reminder, a related public hearing was conducted on July 16th, 2024 as to resolutions A, C, D, and E. The public hearing as to those items was closed. The public hearing as to Resolution B, which pertains to Open Space District 1, was opened on July 16, 2024, and is continued to tonight.
Thank you. And for the record, this is a continuation of the public hearing that was continued on July 16th on 2024. The hearing is now open. Madam City Clerk, would you call the first speaker, please?
Yes, we have one speaker on this item, John Acosta.
Once again, the District 1 is getting more area, more open space than District 2. We need a more open area. And not only that, but in District 1, whenever they have open space, they have an open space, but being neglected. I have mentioned it to different people about, simple things as trash cans will do wonders. There's no trash cans. In all the parks in West Chula Vista, even East Lake, they need trash cans. Just if you're gonna keep it nice. If you're gonna get it, keep it nice where people can use it and enjoy it. Okay? Thank you.
If that concludes the public speakers, are there any written testimony or comments received?
No, there was none.
So I will now close the public portion of the hearing. So the City Council now gets to consider Resolution B that was continued from the last time. Are there any questions or deliberations at this time from the council members?
Move approval is presented.
I have a motion and a second from Councilmember Moreno. Any comments? If there's no further comments from the dais, we'll go ahead and call the item.
Item 7.1 is resolution of the City Council of the City of Chula Vista levying the assessments and collectibles for fiscal year 2024-25 for Open Space District 1.
Please vote. And this item passes 3-0 with Councilmember Chavez and Mayor McCann recusing themselves. They can now be invited back to join us on the dais. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now move on to 8.1. And that essentially there were no items that were removed from the consent calendar. And then we will continue with the public comments. Madam Clerk, if you could call the next speaker.
The next speaker is Mariana Saponara, followed by Brandon Claypool, followed by Janae Frederickson.
Good evening. I'm going to read this time. Good evening, City Council members and Mayor McCann. My name is Mariana Saponara, a member of the senior citizen group, the Nacion Avenue Crusaders. We also represent all of J Street, the whole Hilltop Four Schools area. The Crusaders are community advocates wanting a safer environment for pedestrians walking to 4 area Hilltop schools. Crusaders have met with the mayor, city management, and engineering staff. Our safety concerns have not been resolved. Engineering department staff has mentioned mellow roofs fees, which residents on the west side of Highway 805 do not pay. Therefore, Nacion Avenue's safety concerns will not be resolved because of too much time, money, etc., have been spent without resolving our concerns. Area residents have been interviewed by lead Crusaders. Myself and others, we go out into the community and interview the people. I have addressed the Chula Vista School District School Board twice concerning speeding, delivering, and retreating students safely from their schools. Gridlock from 7:30 a.m. to 8:45 each morning and from 2:30 to 3:45 on Nacion and J Street are issues which must be resolved. Crusaders met with John July the 7th, and nothing has been reserved. But since I wrote this, we will be meeting with John on Thursday, okay, at 4 o'clock. Okay, here we go. So where do we go from here? The Crusaders are fearful there will be another fatality on Nacion. We have the report from Lieutenant Reed, and he said 16,122 cars went down Nacion March 18th to March 25th. That's a little bit too much. We're in a residential area. I'm a retired principal, and it's just too much. And they're speeding. One of the cars was going 82 miles an hour. Okay? We have one fatality, a 15-year-old who's on a skateboard. We will state that. But others have, because they go to the saloon at the bottom of the hill there, and they come up drunk. And they smash into cars, they smash into houses, and we are fearful. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll be meeting with John on Thursday. Thank you.
The next speaker is Brandon Claypool, followed by Janae Frederickson, followed by Jessica Van Arstel.
It's good to see you. I'm still advocating for homeless. My main goal is to see everybody that is struggling with addiction and needs help to find the proper program, whatever they need to get off the streets. I don't want to see anybody strung out. I don't want to see kids exposed to drug addicts and just homeless everywhere. There's ways to get these people off the street. They have the shelters they can go to. It just takes some help from people, community. You don't want to see your neighborhoods trashed. And I wish that every homeless person finds a place to live, and that's it. Just get the help you need and just get them to work, something. It's sad, and thank you.
The next speaker is Janae Fredrickson, followed by Jessica Van Arsdale, followed by Daryl Jett.
So where does my weed money go? We have something that specifically says Chula Vista cannabis tax. Miss Money Lady, since you're in charge of it, that'd be cool if you're steering, but I get it. You don't care about this entire city, never have. But for everyone that wants to know why they don't get raises, I want to know too. Is it like Judge Judy where you can show them? No, you guys aren't that serious. Never mind. So yeah. Wait, is it cut? No. Yeah, guys know that. They don't know where they put their weed money. We don't know. They're not going, these potholes aren't fixed. No one's getting raises. The homeless people aren't getting help. The police, do they tell them to give you more money? Everyone give them, like, you guys, where does this go? I like, every time I come up here, I swear I have a plan. And it's like, I come in here and these people are in here crying and upset and having these really respectful, typed out things because they take you seriously, because they assume you take them seriously and you don't. Like, how do you not feel bad? Like, I just want to know, like, do you wake up in the morning and look at yourself in the mirror and say, wow, I'm not a shitty person? Because you are. So can you at least use my weed money for something good? Can you fix one of these people's problems? Like, I've been coming here since, what, April? And every single time, you guys are cool. You guys have your little South Bay top-off parties, right? Those are fun. That little thing you charged $25 for on Friday, that was fun. Huh, that's cute. But no one else gets anything? You get our money. You guys have been running this Bayfront game for, what, 30 years? Come on now. I work for South Bay Community Services. It's not, you guys are very, like, blatant about it, and it's just, I mean, you only care about your money. You've made that very apparent, but, like, try a little bit for your community. Just a little bit. Baby steps. I have faith. Baby steps, okay? Let's start with my weed money, right? If you guys want to see it, it specifies Chula Vista. So we don't know where this money is. You want to see it? Okay.
The next speaker is Jessica Van Arsdale, followed by Daryl Jett, followed by Dennis Avalos.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. This is Dan Herbst, and I'm Jessica Van Arsdale, representing San Diego Urban Timber, an environmentally oriented mill design and build company proudly operating in Chula Vista on Industrial Boulevard for almost 20 years. We are known for our artistic, high-quality custom builds using only local trees, transforming them into beautiful, functional furniture. Our small company has been able to achieve big things by focusing on urban wood waste, being obsessed with creating beauty as a way to deal with environmental issues. Urban Timber is a shining example of what this council is striving to achieve with its climate action plan. The city has been engaged in our success, granting proclamations, awards, and promoting our mission. You may recognize us from the city's website or our banners on 3rd Avenue. Our prior relationship with the city of Chula Vista around urban wood utilization has been an amazing match. Successful national models dealing with full-cycle urban forestry have cities providing land and feedstock while private entities handle the work and distribution. Following these models, in 2020, the city provided the opportunity and asked Urban Timber to occupy a blighted city building located at 610 Bay Boulevard, less than a mile from our wood shop. We did, and there we did what we do best, made beauty out of waste. The Urban Wood Hub was formed. The city staff has now changed its mind about our occupancy, giving us multiple conflicting reasons for terminating the lease that runs into 2025, citing confusing excusing violations or prior city staff actions, and an immediate need for urban timber yard. Regardless of the reason, they took back the opportunity from our business and have left us holding the bag. Economic destruction of a small business and a valued community partner. We invested all our resources into creating the infrastructure and relationships with stakeholders to establish a program that addresses climate change, wood waste, urban blight, workforce development, and community needs in an artistic way. Over the past few months, we have hoped the city staff would realize the value of our urban timber project and the catastrophic impact of their decision, but all pleas for support or cooperation at the manager's level have fallen on deaf ears. No responses to requests for dialogue. The only message back is that the city's position hasn't changed since May, and our exit date is August 31st, if not sooner. The city has extensive resources while we as a small business do not. Today we stand before you in desperation because we are facing an urgent challenge. We have until the end of this month to vacate, which threatens our ability to complete significant projects, causing failure to perform. The situation has conveyed to city staff with no response. We ask for the council's help. We ask that the council direct city staff to extend our exit date for just 90 days, to sit down and meet with us to develop an exit transition to relocate our endeavor within the city of Chula Vista. We hope there is a mechanism to exit gracefully. In this case, the next few weeks truly matter. We thank you for your time and consideration. We have high hopes with the leadership of this council, urban timber can remain in business through this transition.
The next speaker is Daryl Jett, followed by Dennis Avalos, followed by Harold Damas.
Thank you, Council. I'm here today because the Council's actions have hurt the diversity and public park users' enjoyment of the Chula Vista community. I have had many citizens who enjoy seeing my horses, take pictures, pet them, and have a positive community experience as they use a 3.1 walking trail which goes right by the Roar Park Horse Arena. In October 17, 2023, you gave Sunnyside Saddle Club exclusive use of the arena. SSC put locks on the arena even before you agreed to the contract. In the May 2023 Union Tribune article, Who Owns Roar Park Horse Arena, city officials stated locks need to come off parks. They are for people. Despite SCC's previous egregious behavior, the council gave them the ability to lock the local horse owners out. This continues to cause discord in the community and leave an arena empty, locked, and unused except for 2 days all year. So far, the locks are still on despite talking last month about the situation. Mayor John McCann said it would be looked at. Maria Cachadorian said the arena can be used by paying a nominal fee. I applied as a family, $65, decided not to pay the $150 fee in lieu of 6 hours of volunteer work, all volunteer. I was denied due to litigation. According to Transparent California, Maria Cachadorian's salary is $286,973. A $215 charge would be a nominal fee. Only one council member responded to many emails. Thank you, Alonso Gonzalez. He said, public parks and facilities should be accessible to all community members, and it's important that we address any issues related to their use and availability. Deputy Mayor Alonso Gonzalez, District 3. Please remove the locks on Roar Park and allow the historical backyard horse owners to use the park the way they have been for the last decades. And they have had no problem with the backyard owners, but they do now. It's all a situation that can be resolved amicably. We just want the backyard owners, the normal people, to be able to use the arena as before. There's been no problems with us using the park ever recorded. So I urge the council to go back and look at that contract. Please think about how it affects everybody in the community. If I bring up a horse and a little kid pets it, that little kid smiles and goes home happy. I can't go there now. I can't use it. I can't give out smiles. You're taking away something that the community needs. Thank you.
The next speaker is Dennis Avalos, followed by Harold Damas, followed by Tony Young.
Good afternoon, council members. I'm also here to request once again to have the horse arena at Royal Park be unlocked and used by the horse community in Bonita, granting an exclusive contract to agreement to one horse club. It's just simply wrong. It's not right and also in violation of municipal code. We as citizens are required to abide by all the codes of the city, and the city's telling us that you guys go by different standards. It's wrong. Our tax dollars go to the upkeep of this arena, but we're being told that only one club can play in this sand lot, but you guys can't. That's wrong. Please reopen the arena. Thank you.
The next speaker is Harold DeMoss, followed by Tony Young.
Hi, my name is Harold DeMoss. You may remember me, Mayor. I'm the guy that challenged you to come live the way I did. You said no. I'm also the guy that thanked you for bringing Zuri Marley to me. You made me feel like Muhammad, bringing the mountain to me. I have more artwork that I'm working on currently. I have no time to be at that event coming up here in Chula Vista where I had my picture taken with her last year. I have a piece with me that I have sold to a man in downtown San Diego, which is why I was a little bit late getting here tonight. I'm kind of wondering why I couldn't get in one of those 65 tiny houses. I'm unhoused. I'm currently staying over at the Chicano Park by the Bay with about 50 or 60, so I believe it's mostly Venezuelan roommates, because that's what I share that park with. Now, I'm not blaming the Venezuelans, but apparently because it is outside, I'm now having a bad case of bed bugs. I just came from Father Joe's village where I spoke to the hospital things down there and showed them stuff I'd taken pictures of last night on my cell phone. While I was sitting there in the thing, reached down, pulled up the shirt, they could see what I was talking about. All because I couldn't get one of those 65 tiny houses. Geez, Mr. Mayor, are you really a big fan? Damian Marley says in one of his songs, defend your community at all costs. I've played with the color, but it's still another portrait of Bob. Everywhere I go, people love my work. Geez, too bad I can't use this as a means to make money. Other people thought I should be selling these. I have this one sold to a guy downtown for $300. Thank you for stifling a small business.
The final speaker under public comments this evening is Tony Young.
I'm doing fine, Jose, or council member. I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
Good to see you, Mr. Young.
Mayor, thank you for allowing me to speak to you. Thank you, Council Member Alonzo, all of you all for allowing me to speak. My name is Tony Young. I'm the President and CEO of the San Diego Workforce Partnership, and I left you a little present. It's under your limit there. It's basically a overview of what the Workforce Partnership is doing. And there's a couple of things I wanted to share with you. Just first of all, what the Workforce Partnership is. It's a quasi-governmental agency, so you all are a part of it. And basically what we do on one side of the coin is provide training for individuals who want to work in industry or a certain career path that's important to them. That's one side. The other side is to work with industry to find out what types of training are needed to support those industries that are in the region. And we have a career center right here in Chula Vista. I wanted to tell you, the first thing I wanted to tell you about the news that I want to say is that we are going to move right into the middle of Chula Vista on 333 H Street, right across the street from the district attorney's office. It's going to be a great facility so that your constituents can come into the site and get all of the services that we provide. It's a full service center. EDD will also be there. So that's one thing, and we should be ready to go around April. It'll be open for you all, and you'll be able to work with your constituents. Speaking of your constituents, we had a strategic planning session with them yesterday at the MAC project to talk about how we can be more responsive to the citizens of Chula Vista and South Bay. And we had a number of folks at the site and had a lot of input, and I heard a lot of things in regards to how we can be supportive of you. One had to do with helping train homelessness or address homelessness by training individuals to get into some of these new jobs that are going to ultimately be here in San Diego. We talked about partnering with you all to align with your strategic plan when it comes to economic development, and just making sure that we are available. So there were a lot of things that came out. We will have that strategic plan presented to you in the next few months, and we've been working with your staff to align what we're doing to your strategic plan already. But I think there's really a lot of opportunities for us to work together to prepare for your new development on the waterfront. We want to make sure that we have the right workers there. We're working with labor to do that. So just wanted to let you know we're here, we're available, and want to be supportive of. I appreciate you. I know many of you, and I know what your heart is, and it's hard to convey that when you're sitting there listening all the time and listening to the public, but I know who you are, and I appreciate what you do. Thank you, Mayor, I appreciate that.
Mr. Mayor,
Thank you, Tony. Yes, Member.
I seek consensus from the council to potentially have a workshop with the Workforce Partnership as a council, potentially, hopefully in November or December when we have a little downtime, that we could have a workshop and we can engage with you and your leaders. I think you're a critical resource in this county, and we need to find ways to collaborate and cooperate. So I don't know if our council colleagues would be interested in making a referral to the city manager's office for a future workshop with the city council.
I really like that. I think what we would probably want to do first, and City Manager, tell me if your thoughts are about this, is maybe have him provide a presentation on what it does, and then maybe have that then grow into a workshop.
Yeah, well, in any case, if there's consensus, I'd be happy to hear from staff as to how to arrange the best forum so we can be in dialogue and give input. And on a personal note, I met Tony Young about 5 years ago when he was an avid teacher.
Did you say 5 or 25?
I didn't want to burn myself, so in any case, I hope hopefully there's consensus for some forum where we can engage as a council with Tony's team and Tony's great organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member, and we're available to do that, and that's consistent with what we have done with other cities in the region. So we'd like to do that.
That would be. I just have such a huge respect for you, Tony, and knowing your experience at the San Diego City Council was excellent. Everybody seemed to be able to trust you and knew when you said you were going to vote for something, you'd always stick to your guns, and were exceptional. City Manager, what do you think would be the best forum?
So I think we are in the process of getting our strategic planning effort underway as well, so maybe we can get together and talk about what would be the best timing to make sure that it's productive.
I'll have my staff reach out to you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. You have a wonderful afternoon or evening.
Thank you, Mr. Young.
25 years, huh?
Now we will move on to the City Manager report.
No report tonight.
Thank you very much. I have two quick items, hopefully, that we will have. I wanted to consideration of appointment of a voting delegate and alternate for the 2024 League of California Cities Annual Conference to be held in Long Beach, October 16th through the 18th. And I would move that the delegate would be Mayor McCann and the alternate would be Councilmember Chavez. So moved. Do I have a second? Second. I have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, if you could please read the heading.
Mr. Mayor, we do have one speaker on this item if you'd like me to proceed with calling
Yes,
them.
if
John
we could.
Acosta.
Well, I was going to make a comment on the appointment. but
Mr.
since you
Acosta, go
decided
ahead and
to-
bring down your microphone so we can hear you. Sorry about the,
Okay.
thank you.
I want was going to make a comment about appointing someone. I'm glad you did what you did, because as a mayor, you're supposed to represent the city of Chula Vista. Unlike the Ascende, whenever they had their Cardinal squad complete there, they actually appointed Carolina for Sende when it should have been the mayor. The mayor was elected to represent Chula Vista, not one district. Carolina, you do a good job. However, you don't represent Chula Vista, you represent one district. So therefore, if you go back in the posting right after she was appointed, Jose printed or posted, "We have the power." I have on print. We have the power to do. And one of his friends say, "Keep McCain in chains, keeping in handcuffs." So therefore, I'm glad you do that, that you are going to be representing Chula Vista, because the mayor is supposed to be representing Chula Vista, not a council person. A council person should be as a second, but the first person to represent Chula Vista should be the mayor. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
I'd like to speak on the item.
Go ahead.
So, Mr. Mayor, I really appreciate that you and Carolina will be attending, and I just needed to get some clarity. Are other members of the council able to participate, even though we will not be there in the role of voting members?
I will refer that to the city attorney, but in the past, all members from the city council are allowed to attend. We just would have to be careful about if we all went to a specific item, not to have a majority of the members go to one of the specific seminars and be able to engage in some type of discussion on that. But I'll go ahead and refer to the city attorney.
Yeah, Councilmember Preciado, Mr. Mayor, thank you for that. The Brown Act does not prohibit you from attending a workshop or conference like this. So all members of the governing body can attend. I just would want to remind you to refrain from discussing city business with the majority of the council.
Yes. Then in following the process that we have here in designating representatives, I will be supporting this motion because all appointments representing the city are made by the city council. All of us were elected to be members of the city council, and so the majority appoints our representatives. And while we appreciate feedback, I'm very dismayed at today's discussions, today's accusations, today's destructive and inappropriate comments that have been made against our staff. I'm really disappointed that instead of being collegial, instead of having a civic and open mind about getting things done, that we have to entertain under the auspices of, I guess, of free speech, that anyone can say anything or do anything as irresponsible and reprehensible as the comments that are made. I apologize on behalf of the people I represent, City Manager, for what you have been treated to. And I just wanted to make sure to assure you that you have my full support. I always see that you're working professionally and doing the best thing for this city. And I really appreciate that a career that spans decades of service is reflected on the accomplishments in the city. And so I just sit here in dismay at some of the comments that are made and the allegations that everybody has a right to make, I guess. That doesn't mean they're well received. That doesn't mean that they're appreciated. And that doesn't mean that they're constructive and lead to any positive action on behalf of this council, at least not on behalf of me. Thank you so much.
Go ahead and please vote. Item passes unanimously. My other item I wanted to talk about is outdoor dining. Outdoor dining is something that I think all you have to do is look at what's happening outside, how beautiful it is. And I wanted to go ahead and create a outdoor dining subcommittee. And my preference would be for me and Member Preciado to be included in that and to get consensus from my council colleagues. And we could create a future ordinance that could provide for outdoor restaurant dining options. The options could include sidewalk dining, tables, or perhaps sidewalk adjacent on-street dining structures. As we know, the 3rd Avenue and restaurant neighborhood is probably the most appropriate location. But this particularly important issue, as we know, what the Gaylord Hotel intends to encourage guests to explore the hospitality options in downtown Chula Vista. And given our desire to lift all parts of the city, I would also ask for staff to present options on outdoor dining along the Broadway corridor, as well as East Lake and Otay Ranch. Other cities in our region, notably the city of San Diego, have had great success with expanded outdoor dining, so there should be examples for us to explore. Again, I would ask for the council colleagues to have consensus on this. Again, this would not be addressing the current parklets. The current parklets should be taken down by October, but this would be looking in the future at us being able to craft something that would be a win-win for our citizens and for our small businesses.
Mr. Mayor, just sorry for the interruption. Are you requesting consensus to put this on a future agenda?
Yes. Okay. Member Preciado?
I offer my consensus of support to have the conversation. I just wanted to clarify, you misspoke right now. The parklets will be removed after September 3rd. Soon after, there's written agreements and contracts to that effect. And so I want to make sure that we keep to that. Secondly, I'm interested in the conversation you're proposing. So I'm hoping that at a future agenda, we can vote to create a subcommittee so we can work together on this.
Great, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And it looks like we have nodding heads, so we have consensus to put this on a future item. Thank you very much. We will now move to council member reports. Member Moreno.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since I've been here, and I know that there was one I wanted to clarify on my meeting that I went to, or a conference that I attended last month, and my absence that was here. I know that there's some, at the last council, some dialogue in that I dodged a meeting because of another meeting that was before. I wanted to bring just attention and information on this conference was not provided by the city of Chula Vista. It was a previous engagement that I had that even on appointment, I had asked for permission to miss that particular day. And it was an exciting conference that was held in Denver that really was sharing with nationwide with doctors and researchers on the commitment and community that we have here in Chula Vista and the work that I've done in community engagement with community health workers and promotoras, and really shed some information on nationwide to different organizations on how they can use the community to gather information and data to improve their resources and projects and work that they do. And so thank you to the council for allowing me to miss that, and also to the community. I did watch the entire, our council meeting, and so I didn't miss a thing except the meeting, and everything was taken care of there. Secondly, we did have our town council, our community forum during that month also, and there was a confusion with the address, and we sent out information, and it was on the website, and it was delivered to the community, but then also we had a person standing out inside of the park to make sure that people made it to the right location. And so I am very conscientious about the meetings that we hold and the importance of having the community there. That is really huge for me to make sure that everyone's there. And with that being said, our next one for August 21st will be our community forum at Loma Verde, and we selected to just continue every month to have these meetings in the community forum, and we will be giving information out on Measure P, but also just some other important Chula Vista updates. So I welcome everybody to Loma Verde, and you can see that on our website through our social media, Wednesday, August 21st, 5 to 7. Lastly, we had a lot of exciting events happening here. Our last town council, like I spoke about, but the grand opening of the Sonia Sotomayor Elementary School was on July 18th, and that was really great for the community out there, the newest addition to Chula Vista Elementary School District, so congratulations to all of you. Also, the HOT team. I can't give enough kudos to our homeless outreach team. The work that they're doing, and sir, the support, being out there. I was out there with them last week. My team has been out there every single week, really supporting the population that we have out there, the community members, and trying to work with them to get them into our pallet homes. The pallet homes also I visited. They're amazing location there. They provide them with all the resources that they need. It's just we have to help support these people and help them understand that this is a safe place for them. And sometimes we can't tell them enough how many times. But our HOT team is out there constantly speaking to them 10, 20 times sometimes, and really, really trying to support them to get to those resources that they need. And so, again, HOT team, kudos to all of you. But if you haven't seen the freeways, where they've kind of moved around a lot, but resources and support have been given to all of them, as well as animal care to theirs. July 26th, really proud of our assistant chief. Oh, I think he's gone already, but Peak, that was back there for his promotion. They had a really great presentation, and they had some special, I guess, information for us about that they shared on high school years. It went all the way back to high school. And I think that our staff here at Chula Vista, all the way from our office staff to our sworn-in staff, and just amazing employees that we support 100%. And it's great to hear that they have these relationships from high school all the way until now. And just really proud of all the work that they do. And I have July 27th, the 110th anniversary of Iglesia Ni Cristo Church. A really large church that's down in the River Valley area. It was great to see that entire community come together the way they do and provide all these resources for the community outside of their church. But within themselves, they didn't have to look to community-based organizations, because within their church of about 100 constituents there, they have their own doctors and lawyers and nurses, and were able to support their own community. So I love the work that they're doing. 110 years says a lot for that congregation to be together, and really great people that I was able to meet down there. Lastly, just the Destination Joy this weekend. It was great to see a few partners come together all the way down from San Isidro to Southeast San Diego to Joan Croc, and putting all these wellness to really improve the transit system and encourage people to take our public transportation. But they created concerts and art and wellness all the way along the corridor there to Joan Croc. And it was really an experience to be able to visit that. So I just thank everybody, the programs, our partners, and also our San Diego Workforce Partnership. Really exciting to hear that they're coming in. Sorry, one more last thing. Mayor and we attended the Cox Communication opening there on Palomar at the Palomar Street, I forgot the center that it's called, but 622 Palomar. So welcoming Cox into our neighborhood, into our west side, this side over here. But it was a really nice event, and thank you, Mayor, for being there with us. That's it.
Councilmember, you also didn't mention that we were able to go to the PD's night out event right before this, but I know that some of the council members have not had a chance to stop by yet, and we're anxious to get back over there if at all possible. So in the interest of time, I'll save my other remarks for another day.
Great, thank you. Member Chavez.
Before I make my brief comments, as Member Alonso mentioned, we do want to make it to National Night Out with Chula Vista PD. I would like to seek consensus for an item to be added to a future council meeting agenda for this council to consider a resolution in support of transit pass for seniors, similar to the current youth opportunity pass the MTS offers, and to refer the drafting of this resolution to our city attorney, if I can have consensus from the dais.
Yes.
Okay, if we're all agreeing, let me continue then with my brief comments. In honor of Assistant Chief Phil Collum, to honor him, who we really recently lost, I walked with Chula Vista PD and Chief Kennedy at San Diego Pride that last month, and it is important that everyone in our community feels like they can be their authentic selves. Phil Collum actually spent many years choosing to uplift and empower the LGBTQ community, and I hope we all honor his memory and how we treat each other. I wanted to mention that. And also, I attended the SBCS topping off ceremony last week, and I can congratulate them for this important milestone. And celebrate the coming programs and resources that will benefit our community upon this completion. And also thank all the ongoing supporters that continuously contribute to making these resources available to our community. I lastly want to thank Max Saker and the Hub at Eastlake for hosting such an informative presentation from Chapman University that was called El Futuro es Latino. The research discussed how the Latino community has been part of California's history, and how we can continue to empower each other through education strategies to build generational wealth and policy change. To many more informative presentations like those, we are very thankful for their time and for the resources invested into doing this strong research that I would talk to the city manager that maybe in an upcoming meeting, as you see fit, because I know we have a lot of things pending, bring them to Chula Vista. Chapman University has these incredible resources and studies that I think would be of wealth to our community. So I'll be referring that later on today to you and the office. And again, thank all the staff for all the hard work that they've been doing, and appreciate your time. So thank you.
Member Preciado.
Thank you very much. I have an item that I want to distribute to you all that will be handed out to you by the clerk's office. Thank you. So I will be seeking an opportunity for us to place the item that you're going to see in a few minutes on the next agenda, so that we can potentially convey our interest and our well wishes for California and Sacramento specifically, to adopt new legislation that will honor the work of the California Commission on Reparations. This memo is seeking consensus to place an item on the next agenda for the meeting of August 13th under my report. And what you have before you is a copy of the memo that was presented by our distinct colleague in Council District 4. He presented, Tiffany Harrison is on his staff, but this is from the City Council from District 4, presented it to the City of San Diego, and gained unanimous support for adopting a legislative packet that's also included in this memo. And I'm hoping that we can discuss it and that we can be a positive force, sharing from our point of view as a city that we support adopting legislation that addresses some of the historical challenges faced by the African American community. And so the item that is included is a descriptive memo, and then there is a resolution. So I'm just seeking support to place it on the future agenda. Oh, not a future agenda, but the August 13th agenda, and that we have an opportunity to vote and send a message to Sacramento through our staff that we are supportive of adopting this legislation. Obviously, there's no expense to the city beyond us taking a vote and expressing or even thinking about it as an amendment to this year's legislative agenda. So I'm hoping to have your support to have it added to the agenda. And I will work with the city attorney's office and the city manager's office to take this document and just create a brief resolution that expresses our support for the work being done at the state senate and the state assembly. And obviously at a future meeting, I'd love to have the opportunity to discuss it. Thank you. Yes, seeking consensus just to put it on the agenda, not to debate the item today.
I see that we have a debate. I'm just concerned that there's obviously a lot to read here, and I'd like to be able to study this. And so I think that next week may be a little too quick, but I hope we could be able to read it and do it at a future meeting. So
I appreciate support from the majority that we can have it next week so that our message from Chula Vista will arrive in time to affect the legislation consideration. I don't know that it will pass. I know that the state of California is having a lot of issues with their budget, but I'm just hoping to be able to have the conversation next week. And I have seen a majority. I will share this with the public. I don't know how we do that so that we can have a conversation next week. Thank you.
I think it's appropriate, so I will be supporting it.
Thank you. Oh, and then to conclude my report, so Mr. Mayor, did you acknowledge the majority or how do we do this?
yes, you have a majority.
Thank you so much. So as I've been participating in civic and community events throughout the city, I recognize that in many instances, the work of our staff goes unnoticed or unmentioned or unthanked or rewarded. But I want to make sure that it's clear this city council, led by the city manager's office, is engaged with all of our employees, and we are committed to value and respect the many contributions that are made by our employees in every aspect of our work, whether it be in the public works area, or it be in the city attorney's office, or it be in the city planning's office, or any of the various departments that support our city. And today, in particular, I want to recognize the office of the city clerk. The city clerk reports to the entire council. The city clerk reports to the mayor and city council office, all of us, all five of us together. And typically, I just want to make sure the city clerk knows that I value and respect her leadership. Your office and all of its contributors make this city function in terms of our legislative agendas and our meetings. And sometimes it's difficult to know that you're not well appreciated. But please know that at least from this councilman, you're fully appreciated. And I look forward to continuing to work with you and seeing future items. Thank you.
We will now move on to the city clerk's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do have a brief presentation for the City Council this evening regarding board and commission appointment processes. This presentation is being given in response to a City Council referral to hear about the board and commission appointments. To provide a little background, the city has 18 council-appointed boards and commissions. As of today, we have 123 active members. There are 4 main appointment processes. 11 boards and commissions use a single process for all of the seats, and 7 boards or commissions use 2 or more processes, so I'll explain those in the following slides. The process that's used for the boards and commissions is typically determined by the city charter or the municipal code. And all appointments to city boards and commissions require council approval. Most of them require a simple majority, although there are some, particularly if the board or commission allows a seated member to reside outside of the city limits, that require a 4/5 vote. The first appointment process that I'll discuss is the general appointment process. So the general appointment process, what happens when there's a vacancy is my office accepts applications, and we provide any applications for that particular seat of qualified individuals to the mayor. The mayor reviews the forwarded applications, selects the applicants to be interviewed, conducts those interviews, and then makes nominations for the appointment. All the appointments are subject to the city council's approval. So you're familiar with seeing those on the city council's agenda for individuals who are being brought forward for appointment. The list here, which is also attached to the council item, shows the seats that are applicable. So you can see, for example, the Board of Appeals and Advisors have 5 seats that are appointed in this manner. The Board of Library Trustees has 6 seats appointed in this manner. Civil Service Commission has 2 of its 5 seats appointed in this manner. So you can see all of those listed on the slide there and also in the attachment. The next process is the full council interview process. This process is very similar to the process that's used to appoint a council member. So in this process, the mayor and council members independently review the applications that I provide. If there are 5 or more applications for a vacancy, then at an open meeting of the city council, the council members can nominate individuals who they want to interview. Any candidates who receive 2 or more nominations then are invited to come back at a future meeting for an interview. If there are 4 or fewer applications received for the vacancy, then all applicants are invited to interview. So we skip that first step of making the nominations. The interviews take place at a special meeting of the city council. And then following the interviews, the mayor and council select 1 individual for each available position. Right now, this process only applies to the Planning Commission. And we do have a vacancy on the Planning Commission that we will be filling in this manner here in the next month or so. The next process is the district-based appointment process. So in this process, seats are tied to a particular city council district seat. When there's a vacancy, my office forwards applications to the council member who's responsible for making the nomination. The council member can then review the applications, select the applicants to be interviewed, interview those applicants, and then make nominations for appointment. And then again, like the other processes, the appointments are subject to the city council's approval, so those will come back under the city council members' comments for council consideration. Seats on the commission may or may not require residency in the corresponding council district. We've had changes over the years. Right now, the only commission that does not require residency in the corresponding district is the Privacy Protection and Technology Advisory Commission. All of the other commissions appointed in this way require that the person, for example, who's nominated by District 1, that person resides in District 1. This slide shows the boards and commissions where this process applies. So the Health, Wellness, and Aging Commission has 4 seats. So each of the 4 district council members nominate 1 person to that commission. Measure A, Citizens Oversight Commission. Measure P, Citizens Oversight, Parks and Recreation Commission, and then again the Privacy Protection and Technology Advisory Commission. The next process is the designated member appointment process. So in this process, there are nominating authorities that are not members of the city council. Those nominating authorities can present up to 3 nominees for consideration. Once they've provided my office with their nominees, I reach out to the nominees and ask them to submit their applications. The applications are forwarded to the mayor, who interviews all of the designated nominees and makes a nomination for appointment. If 2 or 3 nominees are presented to the mayor for consideration, then the mayor chooses among those 2 or 3. If only 1 person is nominated, then the mayor can reject that nomination and request an alternative submittal. And again, these appointments are subject to the city council's approval. There are 3 commissions that use this process: the Measure A COC, Measure P COC, and the Privacy Protection and Technology Advisory Commission. The commissions that are listed here each have their own special appointment processes. For example, the Board of Ethics is nominated by a panel consisting of one member of the Board of Ethics and one member of the Charter Review Commission. Those two individuals will interview applicants and then make nominations for City Council consideration. For the Civil Service Commission, 2 of the seats are nominated by the classified employees, and the 3rd seat is nominated by the 4 seated commissioners. Those come forward to council for appointment as well. The Redistricting Commission has its whole own long drawn-out process. Fortunately, we won't be back to that until 2030, when we'll be redistricting again. And then there are 2 groups, the Wildlife Advisory Group and the Bayfront Cultural and Design Committee. Those committees are regional boards. They're not operated by the city, but the council does make appointments to those commissions. So those seats are listed there. And then for reappointments, when reappointments come around, all of the commissioners' terms are July 1st through June 30th. So each year, usually 1 or 2 members of each commission, their terms will be expiring. Individuals are allowed to serve 2 full 4-year terms. So unless it's requested by the nominating authority, once those reappointments come around for those individuals, I'll schedule them for the City Council's consideration of those who are eligible and interested. So we reach out to everybody whose term's expiring that year, ask them if they want to continue to serve after evaluating that they are eligible to continue serving. For the full council interview appointment process, which right now, again, is just the Planning Commission, prior to the reappointments, the full council can interview those seated members again before they do the reappointments and then decide on the reappointment. So my office would bring forward the reappointments for council's consideration, and if council wanted to do the interview first, they can say that at the meeting, and we can conduct the interviews for those individuals. Regardless of the appointment process, all reappointments require at least 3 affirmative votes of the City Council. And if an incumbent is not reappointed for some reason, then the seat is filled using the applicable appointment process for that particular seat. And that concludes my presentation for you this evening. Attached to the item is kind of a quick reference guide of those different appointment processes that I described, showing the boards and commissions that they apply to, as well as a layout where it shows by each board and commission which seats are appointed in which manner. So it's a bit of a complex process. There are a lot of different options and variables, but our office is here to help the City Council navigate through that. And I'm available for any questions if the council has any.
Thank you very much. Carrie, I really appreciate your presentation and really appreciate you and your office working on being able to go ahead and do the appointments and helping be able to fill these appointments appropriately. And there are many different ways we get commissions and boards filled. And I think when you read this, you notice that there are multiple ways. I also want to recognize that in 2022, the City Council, under the leadership of Mayor Casillas Salas, we did actually do a reform of the boards and commissions, making sure that we were having the commissions that were the most appropriate and in the city, being able to streamline the processes, looking for opportunities where there was a need to have district representatives. We went ahead and implemented those, and making sure that some commissions needed to make sure that we still had people at large to be able to fill those positions. So again, I appreciate that the former City Council that I was on, we did have a major reform, and I do appreciate you presenting this and showing how the current system works. So thank you. Member Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I do appreciate that context. But I also want to make sure that I echo your sentiments of thanks as well as Councilmember Preciado's previous comments in appreciation of our city clerk, because your professionalism, your attention to detail, and your willingness to take on all these tasks is completely appreciated and helps us be a better council on this dais and in preparation for these meetings and every time that we're in touch with you. I appreciate you. Just a quick question on well, you already helped clarify the difference between the district-based appointment process and the general appointment process, and I had them lumped together in my head because the general appointments often mention the district of which they belong, but just as a reference point, I understand that now it's not that all 15 of those commissions are district-based. So now my question is just for the 5, so it's a little bit less important in my mind, but I still would like to know, and I've discussed this with my staff who will help keep an eye out for vacancies for our district in particular, but if there's a way also to assist us in being notified or tickled if there's somebody, if there's one of these agencies that does not have a representative, that way we can do our part and put our feelers out and encourage people to apply. For all the commissions in general, but especially with the district-based appointment process, I sure would appreciate that. And then the second question I had was just on the Planning Commission, our full council interview appointment process. What's the timeline for that this year?
Thank you for that, and I appreciate the plug for applications. We do keep our website updated as well for anybody who's interested in applying, and we keep applications on file for a year. So even if there isn't a current vacancy, if someone's interested in serving, I always encourage them to submit an application. Once there are vacancies for any of the seats, our office works on identifying those applications that we may have that would be qualified for that particular seat, and certainly would reach out to your office to get the process rolling for the district-based appointments. And on the full council interview process for the Planning Commission, we have 3 applications that we've received for the current vacancy. So we are working right now on identifying a date for a special meeting. It will probably be less than an hour. So as soon as we will pull the city council for availability for that special meeting, and then we can move forward with the appointment. So I expect that to happen in the next 30-ish days.
The application window closed then, I take it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And Mr. Mayor, I did not announce, we do have one speaker on this item when you'd like me to call them.
Let's go ahead and call him.
Yes, John Acosta.
First of all, thank you for all the work you do. I have been able to contact you, and every time I contact you, you give me the information, exception of the homeless situation, the answers I received from the homeless people. It was the people that work with the program is very obscure. So, I could give you a copy of what I received. It's very obscure. It's not clear at all. Anyway, thank you for what you do. And one of the things that really concerns me when you appoint somebody, let's never forget what happened to Jesse Navarro. You all got a copy of this, right? The community wanted him, but because Andrea didn't agree with the candidate, you all rejected him. First thing, you guys voted for him. Carolina abstained from the vote, so automatically, according to the rules and regulations from the city clerk, he got appointed. But then again, because I don't know why it happened, but they came back and said no, he doesn't qualify anymore. So therefore, you're very careful with whoever you elect. It's not, it's not for your service, it's for the community. And I don't really care who's there, the Republicans, Democrats, or devil worshippers. As long as they work well with the community, that's all it matters. That's all it matters. So you should always think about that. Don't think about yourself, and don't think about the Cardenas political cartel. If you're part of it, you know who you are, so you stay away from that because you're going down if you are part of it. One of the things that thank you, Carolina, for mentioning the senior program. It's going to help those seniors who are in a fixed income, and that will help them given the free passes and the transportation. Thank you for all you do. Thank you. Till next time.
Member Preciado?
I want to appreciate the decorum of the most recent remarks offered by a member of the public. A couple of things. As you may recall, the council made a referral to your office, City Clerk, because there had been a controversial nomination. And I'm not convinced that we need to make any substantive changes at this time. I think the process ultimately worked, but I do know that in the near future, we'll probably see an update to the Human Relations Commission. And I just want to say that this document that you've prepared may be an excellent resource that is offered to future members of council, because this is a way to quickly discern how people are appointed, how members of the community can get involved in these commissions. I also want to acknowledge the mayor is hosting the annual reception for the commissioners and board representatives in I think it's next week, right, Mr. Mayor?
No, it should be tomorrow night.
Tomorrow,
Yeah, so
tomorrow. Sign
everybody's all
up, folks.
welcome.
I do have a couple of comments. One of the innovations that we had on our website was, in fact, that we were able to see the variety of individuals appointed throughout to the city on the commission. And for example, one of the things you could do is look at the commission, the Charter Review Commission, and one of the things you might observe is that there might be an overrepresentation from one district. And even though it's a wonderful district, District 1, and in the future, I'm hoping that there's an interest, even if there's no specific district requirement, that we try to balance the commission so that we have broad representation from the city in the recommendations that are brought forth. And so I really appreciate the development of this document. I don't know if the city attorney's office or the city clerk's office or whoever, if there's ever a binder given to an incoming elected official, I know that this will be a very useful tool to understand that process. And so I really appreciate, and I want to receive your report on behalf of the council as responsive to the council request. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Member Chavez?
First of all, Carrie, your staff, your office do such an excellent job. And every time we call you, every time we have a question, anything, you're always there. We really do appreciate all the time, hard work, hours that you put into this with a passion. So thank you so, so much to all. Please extend this appreciation to everyone in your office. And I also want to mention that Mr. Preciado is correct. There's a lot of, I would not ask for anything else but to equally distribute these seats throughout the city. I think that's the just thing. I think that we all need these voices from all over the city to represent us. And I would completely agree with that. I think that those changes that are coming up, and you do an excellent job when you get this information communicating, but I do agree with Councilmember Preciado that we do need to distribute equally these positions. So thank you for that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Again, Carrie and your staff, I really appreciate you guys' work on this. I know we did a major reform in 2022, and then obviously now we want to be able to educate everybody who's new, and this is a great document, great presentation. I very much appreciate that. And I agree with some of my council member comments on making sure that we be able to have people throughout the city. When we look at some of the at-large positions, obviously, the first thing we do want to make sure is we have somebody who's qualified and interested in doing it. But we like to have it where we have people from multiple districts. And I know that we've actually had a couple times where people challenge us on, well, you know, where are these people living in the commission, you know, or that are on the commission? And we almost had a somebody in every district, so we were able to do well. But this goes back to, if you're interested in a city commission, please go ahead and apply, because many times we may have something where we only have 1 or 2 people apply, and they might be from the same district, and there might be other people on the same district. So I would encourage the council members to go ahead and encourage people from your district to apply, because many times when we are selecting people, there may not be specific people who even have an application in from specific districts. And that makes it very challenging, because the goal is to be able to have these commissions fully appointed. And if we don't do that, then we have many times where they can't reach a quorum, they can't do the service that they would like to be able to do. And there's a reason why we do have these boards and commissions, is because they provide valuable information and community service to help our city run. So again, we do definitely try to balance that, but the bottom line is please have people from your district apply, because many times when we've looked at different districts on different commissions, we don't have an application. We'd love to be able to appoint everybody, or different folks from all the different districts. Okay, seeing that, we will now move then to the city attorney's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We will hold closed session tonight. Item 15.3 was regarding the potential initiation of litigation under Government Code 54956.9D, and that item has been withdrawn and will not be discussed in closed session tonight. We have 2 items. Item 15.1 is labor negotiations regarding ACE, the Association of Chula Vista Employees, pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. The designated representatives are Maria Cachadorian, Courtney Chase, Tanya Tomlinson, Sarah Shane, and myself. And item 15.2 is regarding existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1 in the case of Gerald Lewis versus City of Chula Vista, which is further described in your agenda. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now go meet in closed session, and after closed session, we will adjourn to next week's council meeting here at 5 o'clock in these chambers. Thank you very much.